Evening, friends. I hope I have your attention. Yes, thank you. So we will start a press briefing on the topic that we have told you. So we'll start with a brief statement and a presentation. Then we will take some questions, and then we'll have a question answer session in which I'll request that all of you may please introduce yourself and your organization and then ask a question. Thank you. So we will start.
Okay, so let me welcome all of you for this small press brief on the sugar and the ethanol sector. So we thought that we'd like to apprise you about the uptick in the sugar sector that we are witnessing in the recent past, aided by favorable government policies. Uh, so you're already aware, sugar is India is the largest producer and consumer of sugar, and in the recent past, sugar sector has itself undergone a lot of systemic changes aided by the government policies, whereby a number of other revenue streams have been added. So it is not just sugar per se, which was the main product in the past, but of late we are finding that our ethanol blending program has seen considerable success, where in a span of just about 7 to 8 years, we've seen the ethanol blending going up from just about 1.4, 1.3% to about 10.5%, which is the recently reported figure. Besides that, I think what I am finding actually is the sugar sector is really becoming the flag bearer of the circular economy, where they are trying to extract everything from the byproducts. They are trying to conserve water. They become environmentally conscious gradually. The zero liquid discharge, which one used to talk about, has actually become a reality in many of the sugar mills. Bagasse has now, we are exploring the possibility of using bagasse not only for power generation but also for 2G ethanol. Filter cake is being used for compressed biogas. CO2 is being captured. So the idea is that the sugar mills, aided by a much better financial position, are exploring all these options, which is making this sector much more viable and much more vibrant than it was before. So without getting into more details, I'll request my colleague to make a short presentation, after which we can take questions.
So good afternoon, friends. I have a small presentation on sugar and ethanol sector, and then we will have discussions. Next. So in India, the sugar season is from October to September every year, and 80% of our sugar is produced in three states of Maharashtra, UP, and Karnataka. And now about 10 more states are producing sugar. So crushing starts, the sugar season starts from October, and generally the crushing in Maharashtra and Karnataka starts by the end of October, and UP the first week of November. And generally it is up to May, March to May it ends, depending on the availability of cane. Last year in some parts of the Maharashtra it went up to first week of June also. And domestic consumption monthly is average 22 23 lakh ton. And we were having the problem of surplus sugar in the country, and we have overcome this problem by diverting this surplus sugar cane towards ethanol and towards the export. And our priority is that we should have sufficient sugar available for the domestic consumption, then for ethanol diversion, then we should have a balance of about 60 lakh ton at the year end, and then whatever is left, then we should export that. So this is our policy about stocks. Next. So in last year, about 110 lakh ton sugar was exported, and this year 60 lakh ton quota was issued on 5th November, and this was issued on the basis of their average production in last 3 years. About 30 lakh ton has already been dispatched from the mills, which is a very good progress. So this early export gives the mill sufficient liquidity. They get whatever they produce. They get the, this will be circulated to everyone. So like circulated, and he will circulate on you on WhatsApp. So 50% of like this has already been utilized, and we expect by March this all sugar should be exported, so that sugar mills will get this payment early, and in turn they will be able to make payment to the farmers. So this the how much sugar can be exported. This we will decide depending on the production estimates and what require domestic requirement in the country. Next. So in last few years, if we see like in 2018, there was so much sugar and international prices were very low, and sugar prices crashed to 24 rupees kg. Then we brought some reforms. One is the minimum selling price of sugar. First, we decided 29 rupees per kg in 2018. Then it revised to 31 rupees per kg in 2019. Then we had various schemes of maintaining buffer stocks, export of sugar, and these all subsidies were linked to payment of the cane farmers, cane dues to the farmers. So it was whatever subsidy was given first, it was directed towards the making cane payments to the farmers. Then diversion of excess sugar to ethanol, interest subvention for enhancing their ethanol production capacity. So for 2021, 99.9% cane dues have been cleared, and 21-22, 98% cane dues have been cleared. And total we have in last 4-5 years about 18,000 crore subsidy or assistance has been given to sugar mills to clear these cane dues of the farmers. So, and from 2014, about 77,000 crore revenue has been generated by the sugar mills by sale of ethanol. So now the ethanol is going to be a main product along like other products, byproducts. So production of ethanol was 38 crore liter in 2014, and now last year it was 408 crore liter. So and blending has increased from 1.5% to 10%. Next. This is our balance sheet over a period of time that export in 18-19 was 38 lakh ton, then 59 lakh ton, then 70, and last year 110 lakh ton. Likewise, the diversion towards ethanol, if we see the second row, it was 3 lakh ton in 18-19, then 9 lakh ton, then 22 lakh ton, and 36 lakh ton was last year. And this year we will be having around 45 lakh ton of diversion. Next. So this is the export as we explained in the earlier slide. This is a graphical representation of the export. This helps the in the liquidity of the sugar mills and early payment of the cane dues of the farmers. Next. So if we see the achievements of all these actions taken in for 2021, the total sugar cane purchased was by the sugar mills was of 93,000 crore, and only 88 crore has been left out, and all the payments has been done. In last sugar season 21-22, out of 1,18,000 crore, 1 lakh about 16,000 crore has already been paid. Next. So this is now we coming to ethanol. The blending from 13-14 is 1.53% to 10% in 21-22, and the ethanol supplied was 38 crore liter to 408 crore liter in 21-22. And if you see in the earlier seasons, only from C molasses, C heavy molasses, this yellow color, only ethanol was produced from C heavy molasses. Now the many feedstocks have been added because with the C heavy molasses we cannot have more ethanol, so we diversified to B heavy molasses that contains more sugar, and then directly sugar cane juice to ethanol, and because without making sugar it is directly going towards ethanol. Then we have the FCI rice and damaged fruit grain or broken rice, and maize also we have introduced. Next. So this is our ethanol blending roadmap. 20 last year we achieved 10%. This year our target is 12%. Then next year 15%. Then we will achieve 20% by 2025. In this ethanol year, the OMC will start dispensing E20 fuel also in 15 selected cities, and roll out material compliant vehicle E20 compliant vehicle will be launched from 1st April. That E20 means 20% ethanol and 80% gasoline. And in June 24, the two-wheeler flex fuel vehicle will be launched, and by June 25, four-wheelers flex fuel vehicles will be launched. In flex fuel vehicles, they can run like 20% will be the base fuel, and there will be a E100 also fuel, so people can mix depending on their like choice. They can make it E50, they can make it E40. So depending on the prices of E100 fuel and base fuel E20 fuel and how their vehicle will perform, they can decide their blending level. Next. And from 25, the E20 material compliant, engine compliant vehicle will also come. They will be more like their performance will be better. So ethanol capacity is also now we have about 1019 crore liter, and another 233 crore liter will be added in this calendar year. So total capacity, our requirement is about 1700 crore liters. So this is as per the plan, the capacity, the projects are coming up. Next. So if we see from now and 25, 26, most of the states will have the distillery ethanol production capacities. This green thing will be like whatever requirement is there in the ethanol in that state, that will be met by the production from those states only. So these states are basically the sugar producing states and grain producing states. And other states also there will be some distillation capacity, but that may not be sufficient. So the adjoining states will like supply to those states. Next. So overall, if we go for the benefits from 20% blending, about 165 lakh ton additional food grain will be utilized. That will be more than 30,000 crore rupees. Then more than 60 lakh ton surplus sugar will be diverted towards ethanol. So another like this will be additional income to, not additional, in fact, like quick income to sugar mills to like pay the farmers. And overall, the carbon emission will be reduced by 20 to 50%, as it is shown in this. And the new investment opportunities by this distillation capacity, which will go up to 1700 crore liters. So 40,000 crore investment will be made in the different parts of the country. And our this foreign exchange, by which will like reduce the import of crude oil, that will be reduced by about 50,000 crore rupees. So that much foreign exchange we will save by reducing less petrol. Next. So if we see overall things of the sugar sector, our minimum selling price is 31 rupees per kg, and this XML price is 32 to 36 rupees per kg. In spite of hike in sugar cane prices, the hike in sugar prices are very less. So this is different from the other commodities where the prices have gone up in some commodity. So all India average XML price is 33 rupees per kg, and the retail price is 37 to 43 rupees per kg. So this is due to like the consistent policies of the government and the industry support of the industries and the farmers. And so now the sugar sector is on its own feet, and we have not given any subsidy from 21 22. And but they are like procuring about 1,18,000 crore of sugar cane, and now we are not giving any subsidy. Next. So the main thing is that in ethanol, about 40,000 crore investment is required. 28,000 crore investment has already come. The loans of about 20,000 crore have been sanctioned, and 10,000 crore has been disbursed for 200 projects. So this is a very good achievement for the rural areas, that this agro processing industry will come, and in time to come, this will be one of the largest agro processing industry, and this will provide more than 35,000 jobs also. The sugar industry is now self-sufficient, and this transition of the sugar industry from food sector to energy sector is another important thing. So far, like sugar gives energy to human being, now it will give energy to energy sector per se. Like already they are producing about 7,500 megawatt of power by bagasse. So, and other than bagasse, this about this ethanol is also an energy. So when 20% blending will be there, total 1,000 crore liter ethanol will be required, and about more than 50% like about will come from the sugar sector. Another like sugar mills have started producing this compressed biogas. They produce, filter cake, this press mud thing. So that has lot of this carbon, and earlier it is used in the as an agriculture manure, but now they have started producing compressed biogas, and they are selling to various consumers. So this is another form of energy. And now they have started जो distillery लगाते हैं वो they incineration boiler, the ash which is left out, that is used for making potash. So many sugar mills with distilleries, they have started producing potash, and the distilleries also they have started capturing carbon dioxide in and they make it to solid form, and they sell it to various consumers. So this is also a byproduct. So as Secretary sir mentioned in the beginning, whatever is produced in the sugar mill, so nothing is going out as a waste. Everything is converted to wealth, and total it is ZLD. So this is the development that if you like 20-30 years go back to any sugar industry, even if you pass by train, a lot of foul smell used to come, but now it is a very environmental friendly industry. So this all has happened through the consistent policies of the government, and the support of the sugar industry and the farmers. So this is all about the sugar sector. Thank you very much.
We'll take questions.
I'll just talk.
Okay, so that was the brief presentation. We will share this on our group, and there will also be a release on this, which you will get. So now we are open to question and answers. Question and answers, may I request you to initially at least stick on the subject. So who will start? Please introduce yourself and हाँ बोलिए
What you have said that
आप अपने को इंट्रोड्यूस प्लीज करते हुए
Prabhudat from Hindu Business Line. Sir, you have mentioned that 30 lakh ton of sugar has been dispatched by mills for export. So out of that, how much quantity has been shipped out of the country, and out of rest 30 lakh ton, when do you think that May 31st is the deadline? By when it will be finally exported out of the country? And second part is, you are supposed to take a decision on additional quantity of sugar export this month. When are you going to take any view on this?
So total about 18 lakh ton has already been exported physically from the ports. Rest is in the pipeline. And whatever the 60 lakh ton quota, this will be like exported within this the approved time. Otherwise, we have kept the dispatch of sugar from mills up to May, but I think the way we are exporting, by May we will be able to export this full 60 lakh ton. 60.
एडिशनल कोटा पूछ रहे हैं
Additional quota we will have next month we will have a meeting with the cane commissioners, and we will reassess the production estimate, and then we will decide about how much sugar can be additionally exported.
So we are getting divergent views from various associations about the quantum of production this year. So I think by the end of this month or early next month, we'll have fairly certain figures coming up with regard to the production. And then based on the domestic requirement and the attendant issues with regard to the ethanol blending program, so we'll take a view in case we were to give more sugar quota.
So you're open to, sorry, Sapna from CNBC. So you're open to revisiting that quota cap?
That quota cap we are open to revisiting. 60 lakh tons is the quota which we released in the initial phase. Now, depending on the production and the internal requirement, we'll take a fresh call in the next month or so.
So whatever productions have been there, some agencies have reported that there may be a slight dip in the sugar production, but still this we have very good whatever estimate we have received from the states, and in no case like it will be less than 340 or 345 lakh ton. So we will be having potential of some additional quantity of export. So, but when we will do, we will decide.
सर असीम CNBC वाले अभी कितना अलाउ किया 60 प्लस जो न्यू मिल्स है उनका कितना अलाउ किया
1 LMT
प्लस जो न्यू मिल्स जो परफेक्ट क्वेश्चन करी है उनका भी अलग से separate
that is around 1 lakh ton, तो total 61 हो जाता है उससे.
One related issue, I'm Deepak from Times of India about FCI food grade.
अभी बताया था let us discuss this sugar and ethanol issue.
In case there are no questions on sugar and ethanol, then we can move on to something else that you would like to ask.
So one more, please.
Sir, Manvin from PTA, sir, for 20% you said 1000 liter will be required. So how much will come from grain and how much from sugar?
So the requirement for 2025 for blending of 20%, so we require about 1000 crore liters, and we're expecting that roughly half will come from grain-based distilleries and half will come from the molasses-based distilleries. It will be maybe plus minus 5%, but broadly it will be 50-50.
But seeing the condition of stock position of rice and wheat last season, 2022, do you think that India has the feasibility to do this 50-50?
See, you're aware why, let's say the last year, what was the issue? You're aware that we had a scheme which ended its duration or tenure in December 2022, and now we have the old scheme running, which has now been rechristened, which has been named as PMGKY. So that scheme is running. The stocks are fairly comfortable. As per our buffer stocks norms, we are much comfortable. There is no issue with regard to shortage of stocks anywhere in the country. So we don't foresee any issue in case we have to divert some food grains for ethanol purpose.
It will be from FCI stock or
No, it
open?
could be. No, it could be from FCI. It could be open also. That call obviously we'll take depending on the field conditions.
Our strategy is in time to come, we will increase the maize production in the country, and as this maize production will increase, more and more maize will go towards ethanol. So the pressure on rice will come down, like. So this is the strategy, and as far as you talked about the stock position, we still have sufficient stock, and this because of the last 2 years there are certain geopolitical situation, certain leading agricultural producing countries they were not able to export out of the country, and that is why so much problem throughout the world. But once they start exporting the wheat and other maize, so the farmers, like whatever the prices were there last 2 years back, the maize prices were very low, the rice prices were also very low. So this is the time which is like rare. The agricultural commodities are being exported, and otherwise we have the surplus production in the country, and to maintain that the surplus production is used as at the best option, this policy has been brought out, so that in future also farmers will not suffer even if they produce additional quantity of food grains.
So for 500 crore liter, how much grain will be required?
See, we presented actually, this is total 1000 crore liter will be required for blending, and another 350 crore liter will be required for other purposes. This because the ethanol is same, whether it is used for the blending or for potable liquor or for other industrial uses. So total 1350 crore liter, that will like about 165 lakh ton food grain will be required. That we presented in that slide. 165 lakh ton.
This is for how many liters?
This is
So
for
on an average,
20% blending, 1000 crore liters.
What is the
1 we have taken an average of 400 liter per ton. So 165 into 400 will be roughly 640 680 crore liter. 660 crore liter करीब.
So
400 lakh हो क्या है 400 क्या होगा सर
400 liter per ton of food grain.
Okay.
Like maize gives 380, rice gives 450. So on an average, if you take 400 liter per ton.
Okay.
So मैं कुंदन टाइम्स नाउ से नवभारत से आपने कहा कि मेज की प्रोडक्शन देश में बहुत है और आप लोग प्रिकोर करेंगे। बिहार एक लार्जेस्ट प्रोड्यूसिंग मिल्स प्रोड्यूस करता है और एफसीआई खरीदती है ना वहाँ पे जो पैक्स के सिस्टम से खरीदा जाता है. सो इज देयर एनी प्लानिंग टू एफसीआई इंटरवेन दिस मैटर कि वहाँ से प्रोक्योरमेंट हो सके, जाके किसानों को कुछ फायदा हो सके, कुछ रेट्स मिल सके?
अभी दो स्कीम हैं. एक तो स्कीम जो है हमारी कोस्ट गेन प्रोक्योरमेंट की है कि कोई भी स्टेट को हमने बोला है कि इफ़ यू कैन कंज्यूम इन द पीडीएस यू प्रोक्योर. तो सम स्टेट्स आर प्रोक्योरिंग अंडर दैट स्कीम. ये वाला जो स्कीम है, जो लार्जर स्कीम है ऑफ एथेनॉल, दिस विल द फूड ग्रेन्स विल बी प्रोक्योर्ड बाय द डिस्टिलरीज, and we make the price of ethanol from that food grain in such a way that the distilleries are able to pay the farmers. Let us say if they purchase maize, so they will be purchasing at मतलब around MSP.
सर एक कैमरामैन का रिक्वेस्ट है, इफ यू कैन स्लाइटली कम ऑन दिस साइड, साइड वाले आपको नहीं ले पा रहे हैं. एक दो जगह लाइव भी जा रहा है सर, दे वांट एंटायर थिंग कवर्ड. थोड़ा सा इधर आ जाए.
So maize का the point आपने जो raise किया था, so maize right now the production is there, but the issue is with regard to getting a higher productivity also. So that we are also working with the agriculture department to ensure that we have more high yielding varieties of maize which are being grown by the farmers. So that process is on, and once let's say we have certain inroads into that particular area, so we will have higher production of maize, which can then part of that can be diverted for the purpose of ethanol. So the idea basically is to reduce the pressure on rice.
So if you can give us some detail about the loan sanction versus loan disbursed in the loan plans.
We told that about 20,000 crores loan have been sanctioned for ethanol projects.
And how much has been disbursed so far?
10,000 crore.
So actually this particular window which is right now open, which will expire in April 2023. So in this window, the probability of, let's say, earlier we had about 1,000 units were given the in principle approval, but let's say about 10 to 15% came finally. So the reason was that they did not have actually the wherewithal, they did not have the land, they did not have the clearances. So this time in this particular window, we have ensured that any unit which is getting in principle approval for us for the interest subvention scheme, that has land and the environmental clearance. So once the EC is there and once land is available, only then they will get the in principle approval. So it is more serious players who are now coming into the entire sector.
Sir, I have one question on ethanol, then the second fact. The first ethanol is, you have protected the, sugar buyers by keeping the price low. But when people are going for ethanol blending petrol, when it becomes 20%, like now I am paying 100 rupees, out of that 20% is ethanol, which is cheaper, but I am getting lesser calorific value, so I am traveling less. So why the consumer or any step you are taking to ensure that, because he is paying higher but getting a lesser travel distance is covering, any proposal is being looked into so that it actually protects the interest of consumers. That's number one. Number two, about this FCI food grain. There has been a lot of crackdown.
अभी उस पे आएंगे. We'll come to that.
So with regard to this issue question that you asked regarding differential pricing of the fuel, so we would, I am not really, because this is not the subject matter of our department. This is dealt with by the Ministry of Petroleum. So we would, they are probably working on it. They will come up with an appropriate strategy at the right point in time. So I would not like to comment on that.
No question on sugar. Sir, it's very clearly indicated that the basic, the sale price that you decide, I mean, you brought in that benchmark because prices have crashed and farmers are suffering, etc., etc. So 2019, post that we are not seeing any revision. And in the times to come, there is an expectation that, you may relax the export quota somewhat. So do you see the retail prices more or less stable over the next 6 to 8 odd months? Or do you think the government will actually revisit the minimum sale price or whatever benchmark you have kept internally?
So actually this sector is very interesting in the sense that we have a minimum selling price. Other sectors you have maximum, but here is a minimum selling price. So it's basically meaning that you are all where you saw in the presentation that we have, let's say, sucrose production of about 400 lakh tons, out of which about 275 gets consumed, and we are left with a surplus of about 120, 125. So in case all of that was to come to the market, obviously there would be a glut and the prices will go down. So the minimum selling price is a strategy which the government has adopted to ensure that the selling price does not go below a particular level, so that all the stakeholders are not really impacted adversely. So it has been working very well. We had revised this particular price in 2019, and till now, as you saw, the prices are pretty stable. And compared to many other sectors, I feel that it's doing very well, and we don't foresee any issue even in the near future regarding the prices going up very much. So I think it's working well. So as I say, why fix what ain't broken? So it's going well.
Is it covering the cost of average cost of production? 31 rupees.
So these sugar mills are, you are aware of the fact that sugar mills are doing well. So they have different now sources of revenue, different revenue streams are available, and overall they are, I think, doing reasonably well.
Ah,
Sir, so atta prices are.
introduce first.
My name is Harikishan Sharma. I am from Indian Express. Atta prices are around 38 kg. 38
आटा
kg
पे
per
we
kg.
will come, but sugar is हो गया ना ठीक है. Then we
Atta
move on.
prices, the daily average price of atta is around 38 rupees per kg. Across the country, in several cities, it is even beyond rupees 50 per kg. So, which are the options available with the government to bring down this rising atta prices, and when the government will exercise those options?
So you are aware that wheat sector did have a turbulent period last year because of the geopolitical reasons, and now we are finding that the government taken certain measures at that point in time, restricting the exports and so on. So right now we are finding that there is a uptick in the prices of wheat and atta, and we are aware of the issues, and I think various options are being explored by the government, and very soon we will come up with our response.
So what action just don't deliberate.
Well, I wish I could share the action with you, but of course that we will tell you at the right point.
So we are expecting an overseas.
Sorry?
Open market sale we are
That
expecting.
all options are being explored.
I'm Abhimanyu Sharma from CNBC TV 18. Is there a possibility of the wheat export ban being lifted in near future? How is the projection for wheat stocks in this?
Revisiting it at least to an extent.
So as I said, there are these are different options that the government has at this point in time, whether it is OMSs, whether it is any other measure. Export relaxation is something which which that you talked about. But without getting into the specifics, I just say that the government is aware, and we would soon take a response which will address the issue which you just talked about.
Any action on FCA officers who have been named, have been suspended or not administered, because government has said zero tolerance for corruption.
Yeah.
So how many people have been suspended so far?
So actually, what happened in FCI was very unfortunate, and we are deeply concerned about the occurrings, and also came in the media very widely reported. So about two officers are have been suspended because of the fact that they were involved in these activities which got reported, and CBI had also raided them. Uh, Apart from these two officers who have been suspended, I'm told that some officers have also been transferred, all those who were involved, since we are awaiting the full details from CBI based on which we can initiate action against them. But in the interim, about 4 category 1 officers, including 1 general manager, 8 category 2 officers, and 18 category 3 officers have been transferred out from their places, so that they are not able to influence the investigation and other things in a manner which is prejudicial to the trade.
How many
Category 1
transfers?
Category 1 is 4, including 1 general manager. Category 2 is 8, and category 3 is 18. So besides this, so this is
30,
of course,
30 transfers
yeah.
total.
So this is maybe in terms of the punitive action, whether we now suspend them, we charge sheet them, we dismiss them. So obviously the procedures of the corporation will take its own course, and I'm sure that we will quickly mete out justice to the people who have actually been impacted by this, and also ensure that these officers who are involved are taken to task. So that, of course, will follow in due course at very expeditious pace. But the other thing is actually, besides the punitive, it is the systemic issues that we need to address. So these systemic issues are basically in the purview of reducing the levels of discretion which are there at the level of the field officials of FCI. So the moment we are able to reduce the discretion, obviously the scope for all these activities will go down. So towards that end, a number of things have been initiated in the recent recent week. First of all, we have a whistleblower policy, which we are now trying to ensure that it is publicized, it is well disseminated within the organization, so that there are good people in all organizations who are observing what's going on, but unfortunately, for some reason, they are not able to raise their voice. So, to give them a voice, this is what is the first step which has been taken, that the whistleblower policy is being disseminated and widely publicized. Then, with regard to the point I mentioned about the reduction in the discretion. So, one thing which we have tried in the recent past, and that's been a success, and we intend to roll it out swiftly, is the automatic grain analyzer. So, this effort had been made in consultation with the research agencies to come up. See, right now the issue happens when the quality of rice which is brought to the procurement, brought to the FCI. So there is a test which is conducted, quality test, in case it is as per the FAQ standard, which is the fair average quality standards of the FCI of the government. It is accepted, failing which the person is told, the miller is told, then you please go back, please bring it up to the FAQ standard, then only we'll accept. So there lies the discretion, where the tests are all done in a manner which are subject to misinterpretation. So here what we are trying to do is bring in a machine, analyzer, auto analyzer for grains, where all these FAQ standards can be calculated or can be found out without any human interface. So that has worked successfully. We have already now decided to do it in 50 locations in this particular month. By the end of January, 50 locations would have a auto grain analyzer, and we'll observe its efficacy and success, and then gradually roll it out to all the procurement centers, all the areas where FCI is doing the procurement. So this one step will go a long way in ensuring that the discretion with the officials at the field level is brought down to the minimum. The second issue also that we are doing parallelly is that when the miller brings the rice to the FCI depot, uh, so in case, let's say, there is some mischief which is being perpetrated, and he is told, no, no, this is not up to the mark, please go back, please bring it up to the FAQ standard. So that there are some people who feel, why get into the hassle, maybe let's have a kind of a understanding and then get the rice accepted. So we would like to actually engage with the millers, who are our stakeholders, to ensure and to give them the confidence that in case they bring FAQ standard rice, it will not lead to any hassles. They will be able to give the supplies to the FCI without any obstacle. For that, we are forming an internal procedure whereby not only are we going to have a series of interaction with the millers at various levels, but also have a quick response team. This quick response team can be contacted by the miller in case he is finding that unjustifiably he is being denied the delivery of rice, and the quick response team will then visit the spot, see for themselves whether the rice quality is as per the FAQ standard, and if it is, get it accepted and take suitable action against the officials. So this is another step that has been taken to ensure that the discretion is removed and the millers are given the kind of confidence that they require. Secondly, there are other issues with regard to the availability of space in the FCI godown. So in case, let's say, the miller is aware, if the miller is aware that there is space in the godown, then it cannot be a case where the FCI person will tell him that no, there is no space available and we cannot take the delivery. So we are going to have a system whereby the miller also, it's a platform that we'll develop online, whereby the miller will also know when he's coming to give the delivery that so much space is available in the godown, and that particular issue on which he was earlier being, let's say, allegedly harassed, that we are able to also take care of. So these are some measures that we have taken in the past 1 week to ensure that this issue which has happened in the recent past and caused us a lot of disappointment is at least tackled to some extent. And as I said, more the technology that we use and less the discretion available with the FCA staff, the better would be the performance. So that is something that we are moving towards, and hopefully we will see results in the coming few months.
So automatic grain testing machines are in 50 locations. Which part of the country?
I can share the details with you, which parts of the country.
It has been the last 1 week that you have done.
It will now be, orders have been placed, they will be supplied. So we had done the test in one place. It was successful. It was giving good result, accurate results. So now we are going to roll it out in the other places.
So how many are there now? Automatic grain?
Right now there are just a few, very few number. Yeah. Because it was just in the testing phase.
And it's a foreign made machine?
No, it's indigenous.
In the Andhra model one, some chemical is put.
No, that is for the purpose of that age testing.
Okay, yes.
That's another thing which is being done, like to ensure that the recycling of rice and the old rice being passed on as newly milled rice, that is prevented. So there is a particular machine which is also being developed in association with CDAC, whereby the age of the rice can be determined, whether it's a new rice, recently milled rice, or it's a rice of past 2-3 years vintage.
So yesterday the Kerala Food Minister was here. So in his memorandum, he is saying that the decision to stop Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Ann Yojana has resulted in the increase of price in rice, especially in Kerala, because a bulk of the central allocation has come down, and in the open market, the price of rice has increased.
So I didn't have any meeting with the food minister Kerala, so he's not shared any kind of details with me. But the price of rice, as far as our information is there, has not risen any appreciably. It's been actually fairly stable actually. If you
rice prices have not gone up much. They are more or less same at the last year's level.
Yeah. So actually, if you see 1 week, retail prices have actually gone down by 0.42% last 1 week.
There is a related question to what he asked. Last week there was a press conference by the ration shop owners. They are also not very happy. The ration shop owners across the country.
Okay.
They are not very happy with this decision by the government to stop the scheme. And they are saying that they will incur losses of around 480 crores. Scheme has been stopped. And they plan to agitate next month.
See, the point is that the margin of the ration dealers, we are giving 90 rupees per quintal of the food grain that they are disposing, and the state government is also giving an equal amount. Now, to make it more financially viable, we've been discussing, and many of the states have also initiated action, whereby their financial viability has been increased by allowing them to stock other goods, by maybe having a node of the common service center in the fair price shop. And many such things have been done in states from north to south, as a result of which the financial viability of the fair price shop will improve. Just having a particular scheme and stopping that particular scheme will not really make them so distressed. So they need to also see as to what, and also we are allowing them to stock non-PDS items. So they need to expand the range of items and services that they can offer. That will increase their viability.
सर एक सवाल एफसीआई के स्टॉक को लेकर के है, जो स्टेट एजेंसीज के पास मध्य प्रदेश के पास करीबन 75 लाख मीट्रिक टन स्टॉक है, उसको लेकर के कोई इशू चल रहा था कि पेमेंट आपको करना पड़ेगा 3000 करोड़ का एक्स्ट्रा बिकॉज दे हैव परचेज द स्टॉक ऑन अ बोनस. आर यू एबल टू रिजॉल्व दैट इशू?
कोई बोनस नहीं दिया, ऐसा नहीं.
इज नथिंग लाइक दैट.
मध्य प्रदेश ने कोई बोनस नहीं दिया.
2 साल पहले जो कमलनाथ जी ने दिया था वो वाला.
There is no such.
देखो, जो ये प्रोक्योरमेंट स्कीम है, ये एक स्कीम है. उसके ओवर एंड अबव जो स्टेट सपोर्ट करता है वो कुछ दूसरे टर्म्स में किया था, पर एकड़ के करता है, कोई कुछ करता है. देयर आर मेनी मेथड्स ऑफ सपोर्टिंग द फार्मर्स, बट वी लाइक reimburse at the basis of MSP and the incidentals involved. If any state pays extra money, that we don't reimburse.
So last year जिंद में एक मामला आया था 20-21 का स्टॉक करीब 10,000 मैट्रिक टन सड़ गया था ऑलरेडी करके.
कहाँ
हम लोग जिंद और हरियाणा के 2-3 डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स में बहुत मेजर मीडिया रिपोर्ट्स भी था, हम लोगों ने स्टोरी करी थी कि ओपन स्टॉक था, सड़ गया, बाद में उसमें बेचा गया. एफसीआई की प्रोक्योरमेंट थी और स्टेट्स मांगती रह गई. स्टेट्स ने बाद में पीडीएस में बाजरा और वो मिलेट सप्लाई किया क्योंकि उनके पास मीट्स नहीं थे.
जिंद इन हरियाणा?
हाँ, जिंद इन राष्ट्रीय.
हरियाणा के पास तो फूड ग्रेन का कभी शॉर्टेज है ही नहीं है.
नहीं सर, एफसीआई के गोडाउन ओपन होकर सड़ गया, आपने तो उठाया
नहीं. एफसीआई के गोडाउन में कुछ नहीं सड़ा, मतलब इट वाज, लेट अस, हरियाणा में क्या होता है, इट वाज विद द स्टेट्स एंड दे सप्लाई टू द beneficiaries. So nothing was like damaged in at such in Haryana. और ये वाला इशू कोई हरियाणा गवर्नमेंट ने हमारे इसमें तो नहीं लाया है, बट वी विल रिविजिट एंड इन्फॉर्म यू पर्सनली क्या है.
In fact, in that context, let me also apprise you that there was a scheme called CAP, which is
Covered area plinth.
covered area plinth. So covered area plinth में जो आप देखते थे कि ration that the stocks are lying in the open and stocks are getting damaged because of the shortage of the warehouse space. So that has now been done away with. So now, as of today, there are no stocks which are lying in the open, which used to be maybe shown in the media earlier that as a result of the open storage, they are actually suffering deterioration and also getting damaged. So that is something which is a good development, and we are trying to also, of course, I think we discussed last time that we met about the silo program. So scientific storage of grains is something which is a priority for the government, and as of today, almost 20 lakh tons capacity of silos have already been created. About 10 to 15 lakh tons capacity is getting created probably this year or early next year. And there's another program, hub and spoke silos, where about 111 lakh tons of capacity is getting created at 249 locations. So these are things which are futuristic, which would ensure that our stocks of grain, which the farmers are growing with the hard labor, doesn't really go waste or get damaged.
I'm Sandeep from Bartaman newspaper. According to cabinet decision, PMGKY, free for 1 year. So what will happen after 1 year? ऐसा देना पड़ेगा या continue होगा?
I wish I could answer that. It is the scheme is for 1 year. Government at the appropriate time will decide whether it is what is to be done, whether it will be extended, what will be done. So I would not like to comment on that right now.
So broken rice export पे कुछ
Broken rice export पे तो अभी ban है, keeping in view. So as of now, I can't tell you anything which is in the offing. Probably at the right time you'll come to know.
So may I? Okay. Sir, so basically when PMGKY sunsetted, so around 2 lakh odd crore is the estimate given, for the food subsidy from Jan to December.
Yeah.
If we look at it financial year wise, more or less that could be the broad envelope, because right now it's Jan to December.
Same
I'm
here.
asking is April to March.
What the same?
But our decision is like to provide free food grain from January to December.
Right.
So April to March, as Secretary sir said, from next January to March, the government will decide at appropriate time. So like the free food grain is January to December.
Correct.
So
So for the financial year, what would be your estimate? Somewhere around the same number?
Same amount.
Broadly?
Yeah.
And so also I asked this question about, basically wheat exports. Yeah, I think people asked it. So, if the prices are on an uptick, would the government actually be in the mood to revisit the export ban?
So I answered that just now, that we are exploring various options. We are aware of the prices where they are now, and soon we will be taking a decision as to what is to be done with that.
Sir, एक पूछना था ये take from Bloomberg News. This free food, whatever was announced recently, whose proposal was this? Was it? Everybody surprised, master stroke,
Everything.
shutting one plan and then converting the PDS into free, which is like,
And then
or
renaming
in any
the
case, subsidizing the 95%, only giving 5% subsidy. You were like, it was the food minister proposal or did it like
Government's proposal?
And a new name. And a supplement to that, how can an act be converted into a scheme? NFSA is an act, right? And
So
the name
it's just
is
a change of the name
now.
or it is?
So an act has been converted.
Act अभी जो था अभी एक्ट था एक्ट इज द सेम नेशनल फूड सिक्योरिटी एक्ट स्कीम का कोई नाम नहीं था तो हम लोग एनएफएसए में बोलते थे कि भाई एनएफएसए में फूड ग्रेन मिल रहा है द स्कीम इज आल्सो अ पार्ट ऑफ एक्ट विल रिमेन एज एन एक्ट कोई उसमें चेंज नहीं है
No amendments.
So that's what Paswan
basically tinkering the price, you don't need to get a parliament approval. You can approve it like through the cabinet.
There is no amendment in the act.
Yes.
But we need to have a circular to name that act as a scheme.
Act has not been named as a scheme. The particular portion where we are supplying this particular, that has been named as PMGKY.
So that is what Paswan used to say. There's an act, There's a fact, there's a tax. I think these two are fact and fact.
I think on that note of wisdom, we can we can wind this up. Thank you everyone for this briefing. Thank you.